the next match contains your favorite entrants, Keith Lee versus Karrion Kross for the NXT title. And by the way, I'm sorry, here's another thing. If they wanted me to watch the girls' match, they should have put it on before Pat McAfee and Adam Cole. Because I was in the mood to quit while I was ahead after that one, because that's the best thing I've seen in a week or two. But Keith Lee and Karrion Kross have both gotten our attention. I'm a big fan of Keith Lee. Remember I said last week he cut that promo, got mad, sounded like JYD from 1981, right? This match, he looked like JYD from 1987. Did I miss something here, or did they miss the fucking boat? Did Karrion Kross and Keith Lee, was this a style clash, or what the fuck happened here? Well, what did you think?
You know, it's weird that you say that. I'm not going to go as far as saying JYD 87. I think that's incredibly unfair.
I'm kidding.
But, you know, it started out like the first minute, 90 seconds. I was like, oh, wow, this is good. You know, this is kind of something going on here.
Big man match, slugfest. They're laying them in.
And they completely, at that point, slowed it down and changed pace, and it really became about working a hold. And Karrion Kross, fantastic facial expressions.
Yes.
Really, really good. He's one of those guys, you want to talk about guys who will be a big star on the main roster? He's one of those guys. Because he has an interesting look. He's good in the ring. Great facial expressions.
Good size, in shape.
I have more faith in them doing right by him than Keith Lee on the main roster. Just because I have a feeling they're going to screw up Keith Lee. But I don't know why this match was paced the way it was. And coming off the Pat McAfee match,
I don't know if they're going to screw up Keith Lee or if Keith Lee's going to screw up Keith Lee. Because I don't know if Keith Lee knows. Vince McMahon could very well be persuaded that Keith Lee does not know how to get himself over by the way that he is hit or miss the way he projects in the ring or in public. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I get putting your world title on last, but coming after the Pat McAfee match, which was so phenomenal, and the Dakota Kai match, which was really good, this was a different pace. It took a while. It wasn't a quick match. I'm not saying it should have been, but like I said, the first 90 seconds were hot and heavy.
Well, but think about this. Lee and Donovan Dijakovic, Dijak, whatever name he's using this week to stay head of the law, they went the same amount of time, but they did some shit. And I'm not talking about they need to do more shit. Now, Cornette, he doesn't want them to do shit, then he does want them to do shit. It was the same thing. It was Keith Lee versus a big man, but it was not a style clash. It was they fit together. This did not work. It wasn't put together. I don't know what the fuck. What hurt it for me at the start was after the fucking big man match, punch and kick and chop and meat, they went outside and did the walking around the ring, fighting on the floor forever while the referee pretends to count deal. Like Brody on an independent show when he just grabbed his opponent because that's the people wanted to see Brody fight around the arena. So he just grabbed the guy by the hair and walk him around the arena and throw a few punches every once in a while, make faces. They just did this. I like both these guys, but that just was like stuff everybody does, every independent match. And then when you, like you said, when they went in the ring and start working a hold, Karrion Kross was getting holds that were either barely holds or not really holds at all. And I know, and doesn't he have an MMA background? So it's not like it just seemed like he just was having a problem with getting Keith Lee in the right place or what the fuck. But the chin locks or the arm holds, they weren't fucking holds a lot. They were barely on or not at all on or whatever. And then Keith Lee didn't seem like he had the spark. He did the one thing where he blistered him. He was on his knees and then he grabbed his arm and dropped backward, did the kneeling divorce court thing. And Corey Graves, by the way, thank you, did my divorce court fucking line. When Bobby Eaton started doing that, boom, you call that the divorce court. It not only separates the shoulder, it divorces it. Boom. But anyway, Keith Lee was sluggish fighting from underneath. They didn't have their timing. They were trying to do Finn Balor and Timothy Thatcher stuff for a while. And then Keith Lee's comeback there toward the end was like they were both somaed. And by a couple minutes later, like they were underwater. And it was not going to fucking end. And then you saw Kross took the bad bump on his right shoulder from the clothesline. And did you see the separation?
What do you mean?
You didn't see that fucking knot?
Oh, I did not. No.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Well, if anybody else watched it, go back and watch when Keith Lee hits Karrion Kross with a big clothesline boom late in the match. Kross takes a bump on his right shoulder, immediately grabs it, and he's selling it while they're laying there. And from that point on, he's not got full use of his right arm, and it started making me ill to my stomach when you separate your shoulder. And maybe this wasn't a full separation. I saw something on the internet said he wasn't going to miss time. I don't know how that's going to take place. But when you separate your shoulder, you have a knot on the point of the shoulder. And that never goes away, even when it heals. Anytime you've separated a shoulder, you can tell the guys that have or haven't, you feel for the fucking knot, right? You can see that fucking knot. He can't use the right arm when he's trying to get holds. He's tucking it in. When that power bomb Keith Lee gave him on that fucking shoulder must have been comfortable. But in various places, you will be able to see a knot on Kross's right shoulder, or when he's moving his arm in a certain way, it looks like a fucking big dip where something's been torn out from under his shoulder skin. It's fucking nasty. So anyway, now he's fucking hurt, and he gutted through it, all due respect to him, but the finish was rotten because it would have been a rotten finish anyway. They built up to where Kross couldn't give Lee the Saito suplex till finally he does off the turnbuckles, and that's a big bump, and that's what it, but it took forever up on the turnbuckles to set that up. Even with both guys healthy, it takes so long to set it up that it's just blah. It's just to take a big bump for no reason. When you can tell that each person is helping keep the other one up there, you've lost the fucking impact the bump makes. And then with his bad arm, but he got it. So, respect to Kross for getting through it, but boom, Saito suplex off the turnbuckle. And there you go. What did you think of the whole fucking 9 yards?
I thought the match was a letdown from whatever expectations I had for it, but especially coming after the previous two matches. I don't know what else to say. And I guess it's the swan song for Keith Lee is going to Raw.
Well, yeah, and here's the thing also, they have the guy win both belts, give one up, and then lose the other one 2 weeks later.
Yeah, it all happened pretty quick, didn't it?
So, now, you know what? I wonder, is Keith Lee one of those guys where the match is real good if he's going over, but match maybe ain't so good if he's not? Who knows? Anyway, Karrion Kross, get well soon. That was fucking, go back and look at that now. It's fucking nasty, that knot on his shoulder. Anyway. Oh, you know what the problem is? I'll tell you what the problem is. The problem is these guys aren't eating well enough, Brian. They're not eating. Are you
sure
good.
That's the problem? One guy looks very, very healthy, and the other guy looks like he enjoys some food.
No, they need to eat better. They need to eat better quality food. They need to eat Omaha steaks. Well, that's exactly what these guys need to eat. Because they wouldn't be getting hurt like that if they were eating the good stuff from Omaha Steaks. Folks, Omaha Steaks has burgers, chicken, steaks, franks, incredible cuts of all types of meat delivered right to your door. The Grand Summer Grill Out package is the big star of this thing. That's the one we're talking about here lately. The Omaha Steaks Grand Summer Grill Out package is exactly what you need to keep you out of these summer doldrums. And for a limited time offer, folks, Omaha Steaks is offering a steakhouse grilling package just for my listeners. If you go to omahasteaks.com, enter the code JCE into the search bar this week, Omaha Steaks is going to add 4 burgers and 4 gourmet jumbo franks free with your order. So whether you're enjoying the bacon-wrapped filet mignon, the pork chops, the chicken, the kielbasa, whatever it is, all delivered to your door and free food just because you listen to this program. Brian, obviously, the height of the summer grilling season, you're out there with just giant cuts of meat, constantly grilling and sautéing and flambeing. You love these things, don't you?
More grilling than sautéing, but yes, absolutely.
What about the flambeing?
I don't know about that, but I certainly love my Omaha Steaks, and this gives everyone out there a great opportunity. Be like the great Brian Last, have filet mignon several times a week.
Oh, well, you might have just shot this sponsorship, Be Like the Great Brian Last. Folks, go to omahasteaks.com, type JCE in the search bar, and you can shop those summer grill packs today and get the 4 free jumbo franks, 4 Omaha steak burgers to complete your steakhouse experience. They come flash frozen, vacuum sealed, safely delivered in a cooler with dry ice, fresher than fresh. Boom, right to the door. You'll be gnawing on cattle byproduct and more in no time at all with Omaha Steaks.
That's right. The best thing to come from Omaha since Warren Buffett.
I thought you were going to talk about one of the Duseks or something.
No, Warren Buffett. Berkshire Hathaway. Great stock.
Well, anyway, I don't know enough about I know his brother, Jimmy Buffett.
That's not his brother.
I've never met Warren.